Welcome back to another episode of the Server Performance Benchmark written in Swift. Today we are going to talk about secrets, but let me first tell you about a little thing we did before. So, if you're not familiar with this, then have a look at the other episodes. I already gave a small introduction for one episode. Then I did the project setup, which is everything that has to be done in the package.swift file. Then we created the model. We created the database migration. I already did the implementation for the repository service. And last time I did the executable with argument parser. Today we're going to do a little bit of a mix-up because I need the secrets before I can actually do the app builder. So, what are secrets? Secrets are normally, since I'm coming from an iOS developer, secrets are also a little bit difficult to handle on the server side. It's always the same. So you need to make sure that those are handled somewhere. Either way, you have a service where you can get your secrets, or you will actually use environment variables, which I will use here. So let's jump into the code. There are some things, of course, you have to build it all by yourself, but it's no big deal. So let's get started with getting something from the environment. In case you don't know, the environment can also be set up in Xcode. So you can go to edit schema, run, and here you will see environment variables. And there you can put in basically everything you want. Those normally are some kind of secret, some kind of configuration. So since we are running this later on in Docker or in Kubernetes or something, we want to make sure that we can pass along the URL for the database that we're using, and the port and the credentials and all the stuff. So for that, we actually need some kind of secrets. And to make this a little bit easier in the future, I want to introduce you to a little bit that I came up with or that I saw. And yeah. So first up, the end goal would be to write something like this. I have secrets and I want to have the database username. And this should, of course, not be something like try or should be optional or anything. This would be the thing I want to use in the end. Okay. I found a way to do this, so bear with me. This might be get a little bit more technical. Okay. So, as for the environment Swift, I need to have some method to actually get all the environment variables that are used. So, I'm going to call this environment. This is only going to have one simple static function, and it is going to be get. This is going to require a key. It's supposed to be string, and you will, of course, get back a string, and this will definitely be optional because if it's not set, then yeah. Okay. With that, I have to get the environment I'm in, which will be possible with processinfo.processinfo.environment. Okay, and now as you can see, hopefully, nope. Oh, I need to import foundation. Let's try this again. Okay, this is going to be a dictionary with string and string. Perfect. So now I can say return env, and I want to get the value for this key. So this is going to be optional. That's fine. I can handle the optional later on. So now what I can do, I can say environment get Postgres username, probably like this. Okay, perfect. So let's get to the secret part. The secret part is indeed a little bit more advanced. Okay, so I only need to import foundation because that's all I need. I do want to have some kind of errors. So to make sure that this works, it's going to be an enum. It's going to be the secret. Let's call it secrets error, because it's not a secret error, it's a secrets error. And this is definitely only going to have one thing. I did an advanced version of this where you can say, hey, I have mandatory secrets, and those will eventually end up in a fatal error where the whole app will crash at the beginning. Or you can have a warning, some kind, say, hey, okay, you haven't said this, it's not that big a deal. I can handle not having the secret, but yeah. So for now, I will only have one case of error, and this will be the secret not set error. And of course, I want to have some kind of string in here. And it should be the key for it. That's basically it. Okay, so now let's do struct, and this is going to be secrets. Okay, so my idea for this is always a little bit difficult. So what I started with is I want to make sure that I have a list or all the properties that I actually used to, and you will have them defined in the struct itself. So let's start with that. Let db hostname. Those are all going to be strings because those are basically going to be the keys in the environment. So database host. What else do I need? I need username. This is database username. Then I probably need some kind of database password. And let's see, ooh, I of course need a database port. And probably also something to say, hey, this is the name for my database I want to use. Okay. So those are going to be the key for what I need. So basically I need some function that will say, hey, if you say, let's give me some room here, static func something. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to say secrets dot not something, I want to say db hostname, whatever. Okay, so for that I need to make sure that I can somehow dynamically look up all the members. Okay, that's already the keyword I need, so I need dynamic member lookup. Okay, and this also needs public static subscript generics, always nice, dynamic member. This is going to be the key path. And the key path is going to be secrets like this. And what I want to return is T. Okay. So this will actually allow me to do the secrets dot db hostname. No try error, no optional, no nothing, give me. And this is especially nice because it will crash eventually, but I need to have a test, a a verification method I can call before that. So let's get done with this one. So let the object be this object itself, and let key equals key path right there, and I want to make sure force unwrap it to say it's a string. And then let's say secret will be object dot. So now I do have the key. I want the value that is associated with it. So let's say stored value for key. And this, of course, also has to be force unwrapped, which is fine. Don't worry about it. It will crash if you do it wrongly, but here it's fine. And then we, of course, want to return the secret as, whoops, no, as this one. Not here, in here. Okay. So one thing I do need to do is I need to write the function stored value for key. And I want to return an optional string. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3. Okay, perfect. So let's say if key equals first DB hostname, then what I want to return, return get key. I could also add a default value in here, but for now, let's keep it simple and do it like this. Else if key equals DB username, do this. Else if key so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And if everything fails, then return nil. Okay, so to make this more usable, let's say database hostname might be localhost, which is fine. Right here, the username, let's say Postgres, because as far as I know, this is the default value that will be used for the Postgres instance if you use the official Postgres Docker image. Same thing for the password. The port for Postgres will also always be 5432 as default. If you want to change it, you can change it, but for now this works great. And here I want to have database name Postgres as well. Okay, so this is nice and all, but if I call this now, then it will eventually break if I put something in here that is not defined. Okay. Nice, but not what I really want. So what I did is I also added a static function that would verify the setup. And this can throw. So basically what I do here, I do all the same things I did here, most of them at least. So I get the secrets. Oh, never mind. Okay, let's do this differently. So here, I want a dictionary representation of this object. So sounds easy, but it's actually a little bit more difficult than I first thought. Okay, so basically what I want to do is I want to say this is a dictionary of this object. And I need something like object dot to dictionary. I don't have this function yet. I will get to that in a second. And then I would say, okay, for every key in dict.values, I want to go through it and say, hey, do I have a key set, a value set for this key? Okay, so I can say guard let equals object stored value key. It will not work right now, else I'm just going to throw my secrets error dot, and I will say key. Hey, no, key. Okay. So now this should work. Of course, I'm still missing this one, but now I can go through all the properties I defined up here, go through all of them and say, hey, those are the secrets you got. First, I want to verify that the setup works. So I go through all the different properties I have, see if there's an environment variable associated with it. And if there isn't, then give me an error or don't run at all, break it, fail error, whatever. But if you do have one, then that's all fine. There's no error. So at the end, there's not going to be any errors. Okay. So for this little monster to work, let's go to encodable.dictionary. So this is going to be a handful. I need foundation, and this is going to be, let's say it's a public extension on encodable. Okay, this is going to be a function to dict, and this will be returning simple dictionary with string and string. So this is only going to be one level deep. If you have an object that has more than one level, then this might not work, but for this one, it will work. Okay, so first off, let's convert a few things and see what we do. Okay, first let's have a guard. Let data try to JSON encode self. Okay, if that works, it can get a JSON object from it by saying try JSON serialization JSON object data option. And then I want to make sure I get somehow a dictionary from this. So let dictionary equals JSON object as any else. I'm just going to return an empty dictionary because then something went wrong and yeah. Okay. So for now, this dictionary does not help me because I do have the key as string, but the value is going to be any. Okay, so with that, I would say I need the string dictionary. And this is going to be string and string. And I can already initialize it as empty. And in the end, I basically just want to return this. Okay, so for key value in dictionary, if let string value equals value as string, then I can say string dict key equals string value. Otherwise, I can just say, just put the whole object in there. So string dictionary key equals value. So let's build it. Looks pretty good. Let's see. Okay, that's fine because I want to make sure that this is encodable. Okay, let's see. What else doesn't work? This is of course to be key, and that's fine. Building, perfect. Okay, so now when I call this, everything should work. Let's do this so that we can test it correctly. And we can go to our executable and say, first we have to make sure the executable actually needs this target. There you go. Executable. We can import common, and we can say all the way in the end, secrets.verify setup, and this is going to be try. All right, let's run it. So this should fail, right? Run executable, and there you go. Database host is not set. Okay, let's do this. I'm going to set database host in here, environment. Name's going to be this, and some random value. Okay. And let's just run it again. There you go. Works as expected, of course. Okay, so now I do like to have my default values in here, which is fine. And with that, we come to an end for the secrets part. I hope you enjoyed this part. And if you like it, subscribe, do all the crazy shit. And with that, I wish you a wonderful day and see you next time.